Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast, I share my real-world self-publishing and small business experience with you. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Now let's get on with today's show. Here's an example of a post that I run across a lot on social media or in online author forums. I want to get my book into the hands of lots of readers. I just want to help as many people as I can. I'm not trying to make a lot of money off of it. Yet, they have their books for sale on Amazon. And they're disappointed with low sales, which means a lot of people aren't reading. The key phrase in these pleas for help is not trying to make a lot of money. By the act of selling their books on Amazon, they're saying they do want to make money. Do they say they don't want to make a lot of money because they feel that they'll sound greedy if their goal is to help people? I'm both fascinated and frustrated with authors who seem on the surface to have an altruistic mission for their self-publishing, particularly in the nonfiction arena. I don't know how to direct them to accomplish what they say, emphasis on say, their mission is, because I think there are additional and conflicting motives, along with a healthy dose of naivete about how books actually get read. So we have to ask, why a book? If authors are genuinely interested in helping others, they would already be having conversations on social media, posting YouTube videos, writing blogs, doing volunteer work. Selling a book on Amazon is the least likely avenue to reach large numbers of interested people. Having to buy a book, even if it's just 99 cents, creates a barrier. And as I've ranted about in many places, authors can expect that a mere 1% of their author platform or their fan base will actually purchase their books regardless of price. An amazing example of an author who genuinely shared and cared is therapist Sarah Dosanja. She offered her entire audiobook about binge eating, titled I Can't Stop Eating, as a 5-hour YouTube video. This is not only a generous act, but one that establishes her as a go-to resource, making it a great marketing move too. Plus, her YouTube channel is very clear about her mission. The only thing that I would say about doing something like this is, if you are going to self-publish an audiobook and go the YouTube route, if you decide one day that you actually want to put the book on Audible and Amazon through ACX, you're going to have to go with a non-exclusive agreement, because you are offering it in other places than Amazon and Audible. And that means lower royalties for you. But those lower royalties might not really matter to someone like this, because the ACX royalties might be just bonus benefits after you've built a strong YouTube channel or blog following that supports your business or your mission. I've also encountered many self-published authors who have experienced some health, business, relationship, or life struggles, and they want to share their story under the guise of helping others. Many of these authors are what I call in a memoir mindset. It's technically an autobiography mindset, but it sounds cooler these days to say memoir. They just want the cathartic exercise of spilling their life story onto the pages of a book, hoping that people will recognize them for their struggles and how they've overcome them. Maybe their story will be so compelling that they'll get featured on talk shows, get speaking gigs, be interviewed for magazines, and maybe some of them will make some money. Let me be very clear. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't mix up your motives. In this case, telling your story, making book sales, and gaining attention are your primary motives. Helping people is going to be secondary and as a result of that. And do you think that because you want to help people, your books are magically going to land into readers' hands? Do you think people who need help will first go to Amazon to buy a book? These days, people who need help go to Google to search for information and solutions. And do you think that just because you want to help people, your book or you will be on the first page of Google search results? Not likely. Here's the big piece of the helping people puzzle that others just don't understand. Helping people takes marketing, and lots of it, continuously. The competition in publishing is fierce. Bigger traditional publishers have lots of connections and cash to put their books in the attention stream of millions of potential readers. And you may not want to hear this, but there are other books just like yours already on the market. Sometimes that might be tens of thousands of books that are just like yours. Standing out in this ocean of competition on Amazon will take a lot of advertising dollars and effort. If your goal is to get your message into the hands, hearts, and minds of lots of people who you want to influence, just self-publishing a book might not be the best way to accomplish that goal. You need to constantly be building your author fan base to expand your reach and your ability to truly help people. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, please rate, review, and subscribe to The Heidi Thorne Show on whatever podcast platform you like to use. I'm on all the major ones, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Amazon Music. Chances are, if there's a podcast platform, I'm on it. If you like the YouTube video better, you just have to subscribe to my Heidi Thorne YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so that you get an alert when a new video is up. And I would appreciate it if you would share the podcast or the video with your friends on social media. My self-published books are available on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. All you have to do is go to one of those sites, type in my name, Heidi Thorne, and my author page will come up with a list of all the books that are available there. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is very simply HeidiThorne.com. Thank you so much for listening and for your support. I'll look forward to talking with you again in the next episode, and in the meantime, have a great day.